All right, welcome everyone. Ready for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at psychopathology.
Yeah, psychopathology.
We've got an excerpt here from Psychopathology, Foundations for a Contemporary Understanding by James E. Maddux. So, get ready to explore the world of psychopathology.
It's going to be a wild ride.
But before we get too far into the actual content of the excerpt, I wanted to point out something that I found kind of interesting. Right at the beginning,
Oh?
it says this PDF document, the excerpt, was digitally signed
Okay.
by Team YPG.
Team YAPG.
Yeah, on May 26th, 2005.
Hmm.
So what do you make of that? This digitally signed excerpt from 2005.
Well, a digital signature is basically a way to verify that a document is authentic, right?
Right.
That it hasn't been tampered with. It's like a fingerprint for a document.
Like a seal of approval from this mysterious Team YPG.
It's exactly. I mean, it makes you wonder who they are, right? What their connection is to this excerpt.
Yeah, why did they feel the need to sign it? Like it's some kind of top secret document.
Right, right. It definitely adds a layer of intrigue, doesn't it? I mean, is this common practice? To digitally sign excerpts.
I have no idea.
Me neither.
But, it's interesting to think about, right? Maybe it says something about, like, the level of care and documentation within the field of psychopathology. Like, they wanted to make sure that this information, these foundations, were preserved exactly as intended.
Right.
So it's not just about the content itself, but also the context, the history, the journey this knowledge has taken to reach us. It's like we're getting a glimpse behind the curtain, a peek into the inner workings of this field.
I like that. A peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. So, with that said, let's actually dive into the book itself now. Psychopathology, Foundations for a Contemporary Understanding. Sounds pretty intense. What's the main takeaway here?
Well, as the title suggests, Maddux really wants to emphasize the importance of understanding the foundations of psychopathology. Like, what are the underlying causes and processes of mental disorders?
Okay, so not just like diagnosing and labeling, but like digging deeper.
Exactly. He argues that to truly understand psychopathology in a contemporary context, we need to move beyond simplistic explanations and really grasp these foundational concepts. He explores a variety of factors: biological, psychological, social, cultural, and how they all intertwine.
Oh, so it's not just about like nature versus nurture, right? It's more nuanced than that.
Way more nuance. It's about how all these different factors interact and contribute to the development of mental health challenges. Like, he delves into things like genetic predispositions, early childhood experiences, cognitive patterns, social support systems, even cultural norms and expectations. It's a very holistic approach.
A holistic approach. So it's less about putting people in boxes with labels and more about understanding the unique pathways that lead to different experiences, right?
Exactly. It's about recognizing the complexity of the human experience and how it intersects with mental health. And, even though this book was written back in 2005, it feels incredibly relevant today.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, think about how much our understanding of the brain has advanced since then and how much more open we are to discussing mental health.
Yeah, that's true.
But even back then, Maddux was already pushing for a more nuanced and empathetic view of psychopathology. And I think that's what makes this book so powerful. It's not just about diagnosing disorders, it's about understanding people.
That's really interesting. So if Maddux were to write this book today,
Yeah.
in 2025, what do you think he would update or add? I mean, based on, all the advancements we've made in the field.
That's a good question. I think he would probably delve deeper into areas like epigenetics.
Epigenetics?
Yeah, which is, how our environment and experiences can actually influence our genes, and neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity.
Yeah, the brain's ability to change and adapt throughout our lives.
Okay, so it's not just about, like, the genes we're born with. It's also about how our experiences shape our brains over time.
Exactly. And I think he'd also explore the impact of technology on mental well-being, which is a huge topic these days. Social media, the internet, smartphones, it's all having a profound impact on our mental health, both positive and negative.
So basically, the foundations of psychopathology are constantly evolving.
Absolutely. Our understanding is always growing and changing.
So for our listeners, What's the key takeaway here? What should they be thinking about as they go about their day?
I think the biggest takeaway is that understanding psychopathology isn't just for clinicians or researchers, it's for everyone.
Okay, everyone.
It's about understanding ourselves, the people around us, the challenges we all face. It's about cultivating empathy, reducing stigma, and ultimately fostering a more compassionate and supportive world.
That's a powerful thought to end on. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. It's been enlightening, to say the least.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk about psychopathology.
All right, and to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of psychopathology. Hopefully you're leaving with more questions than answers. That's what a good deep dive is all about. Making you think, making you wonder, making you want to explore further.
Absolutely. Keep those minds curious.
Until next time, keep diving.
Happy diving!